Welcome along, everybody. We are just about to get underway. Sorry, bear with us whilst I join the room. It's not letting me join. There we go. Oh dear. Why won't it let me join? Here we go. Alright then, here we go. We've got a few people joining in just now. We're just jumping in. And we are live. Rightio. So welcome along to the GT7 League. We are back on track for... look and see if I can get everybody's car names and whatnots and everything updated again. There we go. If we do this, we are on track once again, of course, with the HDE GT7 League, and so a few people just getting themselves into the lobby and picking their cars and whatnot as well. So we are back once again for some GT7 racing. Once again, we are in, well, not once again, we are in round 4 now, and we're in France. We're in the Alsace village circuit. So yeah, going to be taking on a different challenge in this one as well tonight. So yeah, taking us away now. Yeah, you have to, yeah, Vintage is going to be joining us as well, it looks like. So he needs to, of course, get into the lobby as VTOD. They're having a bit of trouble keeping it on the circuit in his lovely Corvette. So yes, we are underway. Just waiting for a few more people to get into the lobby. Like I said, a few people are in, but they haven't picked a car yet. So of course, it's just going to cost them time for the practice/qualifying event. Like I said, a few people joining in now as well, as you can see there. So, like I said, once we got everybody on the circuit, everyone on track, we'll be able to take stock of who is racing, who's not. But of course, like I said, it's a difficult one because VTOD there is completely off the circuit. It looks like on my screen. I'm not quite sure what he's doing there. Just trying to slow the car down, it looks like, but he's having a bit of trouble. Yeah, like I said, so everybody's jumping in now, and like I said, we'll be cracking on with the 4th round of the GT7 League in this one. Of course, we've got the 1 hour endurance race coming up, of course. But first off, we have a few people just doing their getting their practice laps in, and of course the qualifying. So of course, the fastest you can go in these few laps here, the better, because of course that will put you further up the grid for the start of the 1 hour endurance race, which will be coming up in just a jiffy. Yeah, like I said, we'll be taking it away for VTOD now. He's got the hazard lights on, making sure everyone knows he's going to be a bit slow at the moment, as yeah, he is come back into the pits now, has VTOD. Reza there celebrating his full-time seat that he's been given before the start of this race. He's decided to go off the track though at turn 4. No, it's not turn 4, is it? It's quite a bit further away from that. It's turn 1, 2, 3. Yeah, turn 3. Sorry, I was saying. Again, once again in the Genesis car. Again, a few more updates to that livery as well. It looks like, so good stuff indeed from him. But yeah, we'll be back. We'll be underway very shortly for the actual race. Like I said, we've got about sort of 10 minutes or so of the practice slash qualifying, of course, and then we'll be back underway. But Ballant has decided to leave and rejoin all over the place there. As I think Vintage is going to try and get in as well. But I believe what Vintage needs to do is he needs to add DJ as a friend, because I think DJ is, of course, the lobby host. And everyone needs to, well, you can't send invites on the game, unfortunately. You have to join off of friends, lobbies, that sort of thing. So if you go into the multiplayer menu, you have to search for DJ's name, or lobbies that are available from friends only, and then you pop up with DJ's name, and you can join the lobby through there. There's a Reza there having a bit of squirrely out of the exit of turn 6, I think it was. Hello in the chat as well. Good stuff indeed. There's a few more people still to jump in as well, it looks like, so hopefully they can get themselves sorted and get themselves into the session. It looks like all that into the V12 Vantage has Mohammed has gone, and look at that, it's very camouflaged there. Didn't even see it on the circuit, as it's got 007 next to the side of it as well. So yeah, he's definitely being a bit of a spy, it looks like, in this one. But hopefully he can spy that top position, top result, and that top position of P1 as well in that Aston Martin. But in the current P1 position, of course, is actually in the GR Super as well. We saw the GR Super, I think, from somebody yesterday. And it looks like he is putting himself on the top step as it stands at the moment with the fastest lap of the session so far. A few more people still in the pits, yet to go out on track, but Hodgson has joined the room finally. It looks like he's got himself sorted. So like I said, a lot of people seem to have been a bit slow, it looks like, to jump into the lobby. But once they are in, of course, we'll be ready to get going for the race in just a few moments' time, or in a few minutes' time, I should say. But here we go then. It looks like Angel there has jumped into the Porsche 911 as well. Very nice livery indeed. And he has got an M&M sponsor on that Porsche. It looks very nice, very tasty to me indeed. So I'll be watching this car go around a lot more. Bits from DJ, my lovely bits are back, says DJ. Good stuff indeed. Thank you very much for your bits. I love to see your bits. And yeah, throw us all your bits in the chat. We want to see we want to have a deep look at your bits, and definitely dive in there. Once we'll do it after the stream, though, don't worry. So there we go. But yeah, it looks like a few more people still need to jump into the lobby. Hopefully they can get themselves sorted, and we can crack on with the race very shortly as well. But in the meantime, we'll have to just sit and watch the lovely practice session going on at the moment, as of course this is the practice / qualifying format. So the times that they are setting in these laps do count, of course, to decide their grid position for the beginning of the 1 hour endurance race that's going to come up in about 7 minutes' time. Definitely not, says DJ. No, definitely not. Yeah, hopefully a couple of people can get into the lobby. It seems like we're stuck on 8 people at the moment, so fingers crossed we can get the rest of the guys in. And we just need to be given a bit of a hurry up in the Discord to jump into the server, into the lobby, I should say. But like I said, at the moment, Reza has gone fastest, as we've just seen somebody off the circuit in there. No, Reza has got fastest there still with a 1:55.553. I don't think Ashik was far off that time, as Mohammed has gone faster still, only by a few hundredths of a second there as well. So the Vantage is on pole position as it stands. So good stuff indeed, as Ayrton has sent some hieroglyphics, it looks like. Oh, there is a face there. Is it that frog thing? It's a frog, I think. I can't quite tell what it is, but there we go. Reza there reclaims the pole position as it stands with a 54.2, almost a second, just over a second now faster than Mohammed in P2. Doesn't look like many people are that keen on getting out on track as it stands at the moment, though. As yes, it is, says Ayrton. That's his DJ. Right, okay, I don't know. Yeah, where is everybody at? Because we need some more people in here. Like I said, hopefully they can jump into the lobby. We've got Vintage, who I believe is going to be reserving for us tonight as well. So in the meantime, it looks like Reza is looking to claim yet another pole position here. He's doing a great job. He's doing a great job so far of getting some good race wins under his belt. It's only himself and Hodgson that have been able to get a win under their belts so far. Like I said, a few people have been jumping in, getting some podiums as well. So like I said, it's been a bit of variety, but like I said, it's yeah, just a few more people to jump into the lobby, and then we'll be able to get underway for the race in just a few minutes' time. M&M sponsorships are making me hungry. is out on track once again. He has jumped back into his Corvette in the fantastically sponsored Monster livery, I have to say, because I have to have some of the I have to have the M&Ms from Angel's car, and then I'll wash it down with a Monster Energy from B-Todd's car. That would be good, wouldn't it? So yes, I think that's the plan after this race. I definitely will need some Monster Energy to keep me awake. As it looks like V-Todd almost losing the car there, but he's managing to hold on to it just about, just correcting the car there. As Solari looks like has joined us in the stream. Thank you very much for joining us as well. Welcome to HDE. Of course, GT7, F1, FIFA, and everything else really in between is all on the HDE channel. So welcome along to the stream, and welcome along to HDE as well. But I think DJ's having the whole dinner on track. Oh, was V-Todd? I didn't see that. I was just looking at the comment section. V-Todd flying off the track there. He's back into the pits now. I think he's called it a day on that on those tyres, on that car as well. There's a bit of a smash there. It looked like for V-Todd. Hopefully he can recover that car. Having the whole dinner on track, says DJ as well. Yeah, I think I need a few more bits and pieces to eat on the circuit. So yeah, if you've got a nice starter and then a main course as well, I'll have a main course to eat, and then I'll finish with some M&Ms and the Monster Energy drink as well, which sounds good. So Angel there is in P5. I don't know how he is. He's dropped down. He was ahead of behind Murphy, I should say, but Murphy hasn't come out of the pit just yet. He is in P4 as it stands now at the moment. Oh yes, some Coca-Cola to wash it down would be nice as well. So yeah, I might mix and match M&Ms and then either some Coca-Cola or some Monster Energy. That would be very good indeed. But yeah, I don't know which one to decide. Which one is DJ going to give it? As into the pits comes Mohammed there. He looks like he's just having a quick pit stop, bit of practice as well for the pit stop crew. And away he goes once again. Reza in P1 as it stands. Can Mohammed get close enough to him? As we've got a nice Z5. I think V-Todd has switched from his Corvette into his. I know he's come back to the pits again now. I thought he switched from his Corvette into his BMW Z4, but he decided against that as well. So he's back into the pits. So we won't watch that. We'll watch something else. Whereas it's still on track, getting those laps in, as is Mohammed, Ashik and Angel. They're sliding down the hill, and he's managed to drift it very nicely. I was lost it at the last bit there, unfortunately, into the wall. There is Angel, but looked very nice, that stylish drift. I might have to clip that up and use that in a video or something for HD in terms of the of the Pro Road for the rest of the for the next iteration of the league, of course. V-Todd is once again back out on track. He's decided to choose his Mazda RX Vision this time, so he's changed the cars 3 times in the qualifying format, which is nice. So hopefully he's ready to go. Now this time in the Mazda. We'll see what he's going to do. Of course, if he gets time on the board, he will be starting at no lower than 5th, of course. So that is good stuff indeed. But actually, it's a shame there's a few people who haven't been able to get into the lobby so far. It looks like Vintage is having issues to get in as well. So yeah, so it looks like Vintage hasn't unlocked the multiplayer. That's probably why. So that is the reason why. As yeah, I think Vintage is he hasn't got to the right level on the single player to be able to compete in the multiplayer just yet, because of course you need to unlock the multiplayer section, I suppose, by doing the first few stages of the menu logs and that sort of thing. Menu books, I should say, not menu logs. So there we go. As Nadeem has joined into the lobby as well. Good stuff indeed. Hopefully he can pick his car quickly. Then we can get a couple more people in here to get racing as well. So yeah, like I said, we'll be underway very shortly now. It looks like the countdown has begun for the end of the practice session. I don't know where, unfortunately, Ramsel Payaso haven't jumped into the session so far, but we have got I think we've got Nadeem and Epic the Animal to jump in as well, potentially, if they can. So I think Nadeem will jump into the video, so that's good stuff indeed. But Epic might be able to join us as well. Welcome to sorry, I can't pronounce your name, but your name beginning with EPA. Welcome along to the stream. Sorry if I got your name wrong. Well, sorry, I have got your name wrong. But welcome along to HDE nonetheless. Good stuff. Just say Will. I'll just say Will. But welcome to you, Will. Thank you very much for joining us in the stream. And of course, what I'll do as well is I'll put a link to our Discord as well. If you want to join us in the Discord, of course, if you want to join in with some of the GT7 racing as well, then you can jump into the server and then we can have a proper chat rather than me just talking to my screen, and then you can join into HDE and take part in some GT7 racing as well. Take part in everything we do, really, the Formula 1, the FIFA as well, and this of course. So yeah, there's plenty going on in HD as I keep saying. But yeah, we are underway now for the, I think we're in the final few seconds now of the practice / qualifying for this event, and we'll be underway very shortly as well for the 1 hour endurance race around the Alsace village circuit. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Nadim has been able to pick his car yet, so hopefully he'll be assigned a car or put onto the grid when we do start, which shouldn't be too long now. It seems like, I think it's Nadim there is, there's an issue there with the lobby, because I think somebody trying to join when we're trying to start the race, and I think that's why it's having a bit of an issue. So so yeah, I think Nadim is the one that we're waiting for to get into the lobby here. Yeah, I think DJ just saying in the comments I can't start because there's an issue of people initialising. Yeah, I think it's Nadim who did join the lobby. I saw him pop up on the left hand side, but I don't think he's picked the car because he would have been the 9th driver. So I think he's the one who's causing the issues, I believe. So if he picks a car, hopefully we can get cracking with the rest, or with the race itself. So yeah, just I think it might be him. Potentially, unless there's somebody else waiting there who hasn't picked a car as well. Fingers crossed everyone can get themselves sorted and we can get underway very shortly with the race. But it looks like it's going to be Reza on pole position, of course, with a 154.286 there. In the Genesis GR3, his favourite car it seems. He's always been in the Genesis, which is good stuff indeed. Sticking with the same car, which is very easy for me to do the standings, which is very nice, and I appreciate that from Reza. But yeah, it looks like a few other people have changed their cars as well, so we shall see. But it's not Naeem, it's Nadim. Sorry, not Mohammed. It's Nadim. So yeah, you need to retag those people, as it looks like BRG Angel is back out on circuit again in the M&M car, making me salivate as he goes around the circuit. Just getting hungry as I watch these drivers, in some of them anyway. So here comes Angel now into turn 4, and like I said, we're going to get out there and get some practice laps in. I think there's a couple of people who have got who are in the lobby who haven't picked the car, which is why it's causing issues. But hopefully we'll be able to get them back. We'll get them in, or get them to back out and then come back in before the race starts as well, so we can at least get the lobby started soon. But you have to bear with us for the time being. Angel there is on track now in the M&M liveried Porsche. Very tasty indeed, so yeah, we'll see what we can do. But yeah, around the circuit we go, as it looks like there's a few. Unfortunately, there's an issue there with somebody who is not showing up on the screen, who is meant to be, who is in the lobby, but he's not on the circuit, unfortunately, which is causing the delay to the race start, because we can't physically start the lobby until this person, whoever it is, has selected their car. I think it is, so hopefully that will resolve itself, or will be resolved very shortly. Angel there popped himself up into P3 as it stands at the moment, it looks like. Mohammed is back in the pits, so yeah, it looks like that bit of practice laps are done and dusted, and looks like Angel will still have a little bit of time whilst we try and sort the lobby out very quickly. to get another time on the board if he can. So you'll see very loose rear end from the Porsche 911 we've seen in the previous laps that he's done in his practice / qualifying. So hopefully he can get that under control and maybe adjust the setup a little bit in terms of the balance of the car, because of course everything is equal, or as equal as it can be. So the balance of performance is on, of course, and there's no tuning in the GT7 league, because of course it is otherwise that some people can have better advantages than others as well. So there we go. But we'll be underway very shortly, guys. Yeah, we'll just have to hold on to our hats as it stands at the moment. Yeah, but there we go, we are almost there. Bear with us 1 second whilst we get it all sorted. There we go, Bam Panassa has joined the room, and now we've got another person in here, and I think it was Nadine as well who has joined the room as well. So hopefully everybody is coming in, although I think we've lost somebody as well, not like as yeah, I think they're in. So yes, they should be in now. So hopefully we'll be able to get cracking now. There is Bam Payaso, Mohammed is there as well, and SAF1 Nadeem is in too. So I think we're now, yes we are, we're into the race now finally. Good stuff indeed. So we've got the first, we haven't got any, where can we see the lights? Let's change the, can we change the camera angle? No, I don't want to press any buttons, it's going to go wrong. But we'll be underway very, very shortly before the start of this race. Here are the lights now. 5 red lights are going to be coming on for the first time in Alsace Village. And the 5 red lights are off, and away we go for the start of this race. It looks like Ashik getting a good start there, and he's going to try and get ahead of Reza into turn 1. He's going to go side by side. Can Angel go down the inside? No, as they've ghostly through each other there, luckily. As it looks like Reza off the circuit, and he's having to recover the car. He's going to be dropping down quite a few places now, I think almost to the back there, but Mohammed has had an issue there as well. I'm not sure how I can change the camera angle here. It won't let me with it, so like I said, we'll have to make do with what we've got. Or I can look behind me like this, I suppose. As it looks like Angel now has taken the lead of the race as it stands, but it looks like, unfortunately for him, Ashik has got through. There's a nice Supra there of Nadeem, who is of course one of the ones who just joined a bit late. But he's got into the lobby nonetheless as well, so good stuff from him. And here comes Bab Payasan out in the DBR9 as well. The DBR9 we saw from, I think it was J-Marks last week. Unfortunately J-Marks can't race tonight, but he will be back in the lobby hopefully next week as well. But yeah, like I said, a good start indeed at the moment. It looks like from most of the grid. At least, unfortunately for Reza, I think there was a bit of contact there, maybe potentially, as we got off the circuit. There's BRG Angel there just trying to recover back out in the M&M cars. Dan Murphy gets up to P4. Thanks to, unfortunately for Angel, it's on Angel's mistake, unfortunately. As it looks like I think it's my camera and that sort of thing is just causing a bit of havoc with the connection side of things. As here comes DJ in his Coca-Cola themed, Coca-Cola liveried Mustang, I should say. There's somebody off the circuit there. I think it was Angel there off the circuit. He's not got any damage to his car. Maybe it's been Nadeem, sorry, I think. Nadeem off the circuit there in the background. And I think Mohammed there also having some problems, it looks like, at the beginning of this lap. But unfortunately, they're going to have to play a bit of catch-up now in this race. Angel there, it looked like he was in the lead of this race after the first couple of corners, but now he's dropped down to P7. He's right behind DJ at the moment now, but everybody else has got away cleanly so far. Bab Payaso into the pits, it looks like. He's called it a day on those tyres already, so he's off the soft compound tyres. It looks like he was starting on the soft, it looks like there. So getting over the first lap on those tyres. But like I said, can still get some good points in this race. The strategies and the fuel loads and everything like that will all unfold as we get through the race, and towards the end we'll finalise what's actually going to be the end classification, because we can never tell in this one. The strategies, the tyre compounds, everything like that is all over the place in this event, in this series. And because it's such a long series, a long race as well, you can have all sorts of things go right for you, go wrong for you, all over the places. Now it looks like Hodgson there in the Subaru BRZ is trying to get past Ashik for P1 here. Can he make a move very shortly into? I can't really see from here. He looks like he's all over the back of him now. And yeah, down into the first of the long left-handers. It looks like he's still biding his time right behind that Supra. But can he make a move now as well? It looks like he's also sponsored by the Monster Energy drink, which is good stuff indeed. Lots of energy available for me to keep going in this one. As like I said, we've only just started. We've got a 1 hour endurance race to go in this one. It looks like Dan Murphy under a bit of pressure now, but can Hodgson make a move for the lead? No, not quite. Dan Murphy, it looks like, no, it's DJ Death Dragon getting a move past Reza. Reza got an issue there on that Genesis GR3. I think he might do. It looks like he's having trouble trying to get back through the field. As yeah, so we've seen Reza with excellent pace in the previous races, of course, getting a few wins under his belt as well. Now battling side by side with DJ down the hill. This is going to be dangerous, I think, into the braking zone. If they get it wrong, down the hill goes Dan Murphy in P3. Reza going around the outside of DJ there in P4, and he's got that move done. Can Angel sneak past as well? No, there's a bit of contact there between himself and DJ, I think. No damage, I don't think. Oh, DJ's got a bit of damage, I think, actually there. But yeah, Angel there, I think, was side by side, and I think there might have been entitled to a little bit more room there. But that's what I can see from my angle anyway. My angle was recorded. So Angel now up into P5. I think DJ's got a bit of damage on that front wing, or front bumper, I should say, which will be, of course, repaired either in the pits or by. Naturally, it will just repair itself over time. I think it will. I believe it's on the middle section between damage. It's not full damage, it's not no damage, so it's in between somewhere. VTOP there in his Mazda RX Vision is flying around nicely in P8 as it stands at the moment. Valparaiso have made that early stop. He's 24 seconds off the leader now, so he's not far off the lead actually, to be fair. And obviously with the pit stop phases coming in later on in this race, Valparaiso might see himself further up the order very shortly as well. Dan Murphy's got himself up into P3 as Reza has got through Dan Murphy just now. It looks like we're going side by side now into the left-hander. Can Dan Murphy hold it around the outside here? It's close. Unfortunately, it's my internet connection, I think, having a bit of trouble trying to keep up with these drivers. But yeah, side by side it looks like going through here, but I think Reza has got that move done and dusted. Dan Murphy now down into P3, and Reza is going to be chasing after Hodgson now for that lead. Of course, qualified on pole position did Reza, and now looking to try and get that lead back after a bit of an incident, or a bit of an issue, I think it was, just on his first flying lap, his first lap of the race, that was. DJ has switched places once again with BRG Angel, and these two look like they're going to be continuing the battle throughout this race. But DJ now back up to P4. Of course, got on the podium last week in the Switzerland race. It was a deep forest raceway, if I get my words out. And yeah, so now he's going to be trying to get some good points again for himself in the Mustang at the French circuit of Alsace. Top two are starting to create a gap here. You can see the gap between Reza and Dan Murphy now almost, or just over 3 seconds now, as Reza is closing in rapidly on that Subaru of Hodgson there. You can see both these drivers there just disappearing off into the distance now, and I think Reza's going to be very close to getting the pass for the lead of the race very shortly. Is DJ going to go for a pass there for the third place on the podium? Can he get past Dan Murphy in his McLaren 650S? It looks like it's going to be when it's going to happen rather than if it's going to happen. He's gaining very, very quickly on this lap. Maybe the fuel mix has been turned up for the Mustang driver. Off the circuit there is Angel. He's had a spin there at the left-hander. He should get himself back on track. He's got a bit of bumper damage as well on the front bumper there, going into the wall. It looked like making the contact there, but he's now coming back onto the track now in P8. So he can get himself back on track, get recovered there, and get going once again. V Todd and Ashik there battling side by side. The GR Supra of Ashik getting up into P6 now. V Todd into P7, of course, with Angel's mishap. But yeah, now the much better delivery there from Ashik there. I think it was Mohammed who had just the grey car with Naeem written on the side of it last week. So he's definitely upgraded that into his BMW, not his BMW, into his James Bond themed advantage. Good stuff indeed. And now let's see who is going to be coming through next. Hodgson has got pressure from behind, almost half a second behind. Now is Reza. He's really closed that gap in now to P1. Can he make a move back for the lead? Can he get the lead of this race back where he qualified, of course, on pole position? Can he get that lead back on lap 4? Like I said, we're having a timed race here. It's not a lap race. So basically, when the timer reaches 1 hour, that is when you begin your final lap, or whichever stage you are on that lap is your final lap. Reza can't make a move yet into turn 1. Dan Murphy has switched places with DJ. DJ's got past somewhere on that lap. I just missed it, unfortunately, but Dan Murphy down into P4. DJ back onto the podium places that he's getting accustomed to now, into P3 as well. Good stuff indeed. Into the pits comes Angel there, I think, trying to repair that front wing damage, or front bumper damage, I should say. I'm too used to commentating on F1 to talk about front wings. But yeah, Angel there just repairing, having a bit of repairs there. I think probably switching up the strategy as well, and looking to go a bit further in this race. But yeah, like I said, it's still on for him to get some good points. Once again, Reza has got past for the lead of the race. He's got past Hodgson. He's now going to try and extend his gap there to make a bit of a margin to Hodgson in P2. And of course, DJ as well with P3. DJ there trying to make amends. Not make amends, he'll get some gains if, of course, there's any incidents for the top 2 further up the field. But it looks like Reza is trying to pull that gap out now, almost to a second already after making the overtake earlier on in the lap. So that is looking good for Reza to get himself back up into the top steps. And the McLaren of Dan Murphy there trying to chase down DJ, coming around the long right-hander. It's very difficult on the right-hander as well, in my opinion. But they both negotiated that very nicely, as has Nadeem in P5. Nadeem is closing in on these 2 as well, it looks like, so maybe he's turned the fuel mix up in his GR Super as well, and is going to try and get after both Dan Murphy and DJ as well for that podium place. But let's have a look further down the order, see what the gaps are like. Of course, Angel is back out on track now in his Porsche. He's got that M&M logo, M&M livery fixed, and he's back underway. But the closest battle on track at the moment is between these 2. It's the top 2 as well, Reza and Hodgson. Hodgson's doing a good job of keeping within the window of Reza here. We've seen Reza have some storming victories already in the first couple of races of the GT7 League. So like I said, there's plenty still to come from Reza. We can join the grid full time as well now, so he's going to get all his points added in one go as well. But it looks like he might be on for another. At the moment, we're only on lap 6, but at the moment it looks like we're on for potentially another win for Reza in his Genesis GR3. A bit of my tongue when I try to say that. But there we go. Dan Murphy and Nadeem are getting close together now. It looks like 1.5 seconds is the gap between the Supra and the McLaren, and you're coming round now into turn 2 and now heading towards turn 3. There you come. No, it's not that way around, it's the other way around. Elsewhere, it looks like Van Passo is catching up to Mohammed here. Almost 1 second is the gap. The DBR9 of Van Passo, the first time he's entered into the GT7 realm. Or certainly for HD anyway. So he's trying to get past Mohammed there for P8. Again, in P8 we saw Mohammed doing very well in the practice and the qualifying as well. But unfortunately not so far in the race just yet. But potentially, of course, the strategy might be a bit different for Mohammed here. He might be saving his fuel, saving his tyres, as it looks like he's started on the hard compound tyres as well. You can see that in the bottom left almost. You can see he's on the racing hards there. So yeah, he's decided that he's going to have to go a bit longer in this stint. He's saving some fuel and saving those tyres as well, so he can go further into the race than some others who might be on a slightly faster tyre at the moment, but of course a tyre that will wear out quicker as well, such as the mediums or the softs. Right then, it looks like Nadeem has caught up to Dan Murphy here. He's all over the back of him now, just 7 tenths. Into the pits comes DJ off of the soft compound tyres. It looks like DJ was on. So yeah, those tyres, you can see the wear there. It's definitely they've definitely got a bit of wear on those soft compound tyres. He's done 7 or 6 laps on them now. Just finishing the 7th lap, or starting the 7th lap now. Where will DJ come out of the pits though is the question. Is he getting some more fuel added into that car? He is as well, so good stuff from him. He'll be able to crack on very shortly, as looks like Dan Murphy back up to podium places, but of course with Nadeem all over the back of him, that might change very shortly, as out of the pits will come DJ, I should say, in P9, I think it will be. It will be ahead of Angel there, who's had his issues on the previous lap there. He's having to recover the car, get himself back underway now and onto the circuit. He has just done the personal best lap for himself, which is good stuff indeed. As Reza has done a 54.262, which I think is just as fast as he did in qualifying, to be honest. That is absolutely rapid there from him, as he's now 3.5 seconds ahead of Hodgson in P2. So he's extending that gap nicely as well for Reza into the lead of this race. Dan Murphy now is maintaining that gap of about 1 second, just over 1 second, to Nadeem there in P4. So he doesn't want to get overtaken too soon by Nadeem, as it looks like Ashik and Mohammed they're settling in. Todd has been passed by Mohammed, and now into the fray comes Bab Payaso as well. Bab Payaso, trying to get past the RX Vision car, the Mazda RX Vision, around the outside on the back turn of the right-hander. He's got that move done and dusty. Can't keep it on the track though. He can do. He's up into P7. Good stuff indeed. Mohammed there also getting past for P6 as well. Todd dropping down the order, but again, it might just be the strategic play from Todd at the moment to he's on a slower stint than the other drivers around him, so he doesn't have to worry about it too much. He can come back later on in this race, but yeah, we'll find out of course what everyone's up to in just a few in about how long have we got? We've got in about 45 minutes time. We'll find out, because hopefully then we'll have an idea of what strategy everyone's going to be finishing the race and have a better idea of what position they'll be in as well when they get there. As Nadeem is into the pits from P4, he was right behind Dan Murphy as well, we saw, but he decided to call it a day on those soft compound tyres. He was on the softs as well compared to Dan Murphy's mediums, so Dan Murphy going to go a bit longer in this first stint than the likes of DJ there and Nadeem as well on the soft compound tyres. Can DJ claim back his P8 or his net P4 I think it is from the South African? He can do as well. Nadeem there into the pits. He's been in there for quite a long time compared to DJ as well. I think maybe having to get some extra fuel on board, a bit more fuel on board to crack on with the rest of this race, but he's slotted it back out in P9. Angel there is not too far behind, so Angel's still in this race as well, but out in the front. Look at the gap now, 8 seconds since we last looked, and is massively extended now for Reza. He is in a commanding victory, or commanding lead as I suppose as it stands at the moment, but I don't want to jinx him too much, because then the commentator's curse will resound around the Alsace circuit. So there we go. Payaso is in P6, the closest battle on track at the moment. He's with himself and Mohammed there for P5. He's trying to gain on the V12 Vantage, of course. Both very nice classic cars, these ones. In my opinion, of course, being a James Bond fan, so the Aston Martins are very nice to see on the circuit as well, racing around in the HDE GT7 league. So yeah, good stuff indeed for Bab Payaso and for Mohammed for picking such great cars. But yeah, into the very tight complex of the hairpin sort of section of the track, I should say. He's managed to make it through very nicely indeed. Gap now under 1 second as they come down the hill. Very easy to get the braking wrong in this part of the track, and of course we saw Angel there having a few issues with the braking zone as well, as it looks like Bab Payaso there just losing a bit of time now to Mohammed. They're coming through very nicely now in the second phase of the corners as well now. Just under 9 tenths of a second is the Aston Martin, just on his personal best as well. Good stuff indeed from him. DJ now sets the fastest lap. DJ is flying at the moment. Oh no, what's happened here? I think he's just got past Todd, has he? He's on the soft compound tyres and it looks like he's going for it. So he's up into P7 now, and of course getting the fastest lap as well. 53.418 for the Mustang as it stands at the moment. We saw Reza there with a 54.2 I think it was, so he's almost 1 second faster than Reza as it stands in this race. That would be pretty good for himself, but he needs to gain quite a lot of time to catch up to Reza. I think he's 42 seconds behind, so if he's 1 second per lap faster, he needs a few more laps under his belt to be able to get the lead of this race back. But of course we think Reza and Hodgson have yet to pit, as well as Dan Murphy. I think the top 5 were yet to pit actually. We saw Bab Payaso pit on the end of lap 1. So that was maybe a street from the Bab Payaso. He has got a penalty though, picked up, and he's got DJ all over the back of him already. And I think Bab Payaso might have gone off the circuit there, and they've got quite a bit of damage there, it looks like. As here comes DJ now round the outside. as of course the penalty will be served by Payaso, I should say, in the next penalty line, which is right here. So he should slow down now and serve that penalty. And now it looks like VTOD will be all over the back of him as well. Can get P7 as well here, going around the outside now. Overtaking is prohibited. You've got a yellow flag from Mohammed there. Mohammed off the circuit and recovering back to the circuit quite strangely there. He's managed to get back on, but he was compromised VTOD there a bit. Trying to get himself back onto the circuit. VTOD up into P7 now. Into the pits comes Hodgson and Dan Murphy, both on the medium compact tyres, going longer in the first stint. But now switching on to a new compound and also getting some fuel into those cars that were very, very low on the fuel as well. There we go then. So DJ now in P3 once again, but he's got a 30-second gap to Reza, who's in the lead of the race at the moment. Out comes the likes of Hodgson and Dan Murphy side by side, it looks like, as well in the pit. That was quite an odd one there because they both got sort of released at the same time, I think. But in P6 now is Dan Murphy, P7 for Hodgson as well. Into the pits as well. As I thought it was a slow car there, but Mohammed is also in the pits in P9. Payaso also following him in, serving that penalty as well, I think. No, he's decided to carry on with that penalty. So that is that for him. But yeah, out in the order, we've got the closest backline trackers. These two just come out of the pits. These two as well. Onto the medium compound tyres is Dan Murphy. Onto the hard compound tyre. Oh no, onto the soft compound tyres, I should say, is Hodgson. So like I said, going into battle now are these two as well. And I think, like I said, Hodgson will be trying to get past on those soft compound tyres. Will have a bit more pace than the mediums of Dan Murphy as well. So we'll see if that can play a factor for Hodgson, if he can get past. He's flashing his lights at Dan Murphy. So I don't know if that is him doing that on purpose, or if that is just an accident there. But it looks like the gap is now extending between the two of them. Reza is into the pits from the lead of the race. He's decided to call it a day on those hard compound tyres. And he is now into the pits as we've had 1/3 of the race so far. So that is we're 20 minutes. We're just about 20 minutes in. So he's done one stint on the hard compound tyres. That would, in my opinion, that would indicate that there's a two-stop race in this one. As a sheep will follow him in as well. DJ might be able to take the lead of this race. That would be interesting indeed, as DJ has done. It looks like in the Mustang, he has got the lead of the race in the bag as it stands at the moment. Good stuff indeed from him. Reza is out in P2. And the sheep will come through. I think the sheep will be a few places down though, as here comes Nadeem trying to get past VTOD for P3. Dan Murphy and Hodgson still in battle, P5 and P6 now. But there's not been any moves from the Subaru BRZ at the moment, just to get past that McLaren, but he's biding his time at the moment, it seems, as DJ now into the lead of the race. They're looking very good indeed, as a Sheik is into the pits once again off the hard compound tyres as well, with not so much fuel on board, so you need to get that fuel level topped up again, as Payaso and Mohammed will come through and claim those spots off him as well, I think. But there we go. Dan Murphy still under pressure here from Hodgson. Hodgson on the inside for the next corner, and it looks like Hodgson has got that move done, has it? Trying to hold it around the outside was Dan Murphy. He almost got that move back, I think. It looked like, as he's slotted in behind now the Subaru of Hodgson for P5. So yeah, good stuff indeed, good moves indeed. As further up the order, we've got Nadeem and VTOD going side by side through the long right-hander, trying to go through the banked corner. He's sponsored by Rizla. Looks like good stuff indeed as well. So I'll need some of that as well. Get the M&M's, get the Monster Energy, get the Coca-Cola and the Rizla. Good stuff indeed. As yeah, VTOD there holding the pack up now. It looks like here comes Hodgson down the inside. He's got a move done on Nadeem, I think it was. Yeah, there we go. If I can get me sight right. And Hodgson now trying to get past VTOD as well. He's going to go up the hill now and then trying to go down the hill as well. And I think there might be a move here for Hodgson if he can get himself through. He's up into P3 now as it stands, and Hodgson, I think, or VTOD, sorry, just moved out of the way as it stands with the faster car was coming through nonetheless. And now the battle resumed between Dan Murphy, Nadeem and VTOD. for P4, 5 and 6. Hodgson will try and get away. Hodgson now is setting the personal best. He hasn't set the fastest lap of the race just yet. As V-Todd there off the circuit, unfortunately for V-Todd, looking to recover back. He's still going to be in P6. He's going to be dropping down behind Nadeem and Dan Murphy now. But Nadeem and Dan Murphy are going to carry on their battle through towards turn 2. Can anyone make a move? Can they keep their position, as you say? Keep it on the track as well is most important, and they have done. And Nadeem there is in P4, getting past Dan Murphy as well. Hodgson there getting through to P3 now. He's 10 seconds behind the former leader, the pole sitter, of course, of Reza. DJ Dead Dragon is on an alternative strategy here, so he will have to pit very soon as well. Looks like their soft combat tyres are starting to drop off a bit, unfortunately, for the Mustang. But we'll see obviously how the gaps do progress and how they all change in just a few moments time, in a few pit stops time, I should say, really, as Nadeem and Dan Murphy, the closest battle on track so far. Dan Murphy trying to get that 4th place back from the GR Supra, so yeah, we'll see how it all unfolds in this one. Setting personal bests so far on this lap. Oh, trying to go down the inside there was Dan. I think you could see the door slightly ajar, but he thought better of it, and now they're going very close side by side towards the next turn. Trying to get around the outside there was going to be quite difficult. I think it looked like Nadeem was shaping to close that door very quickly, but now down the hill once again. Can they, as their helicopter flies around behind, can he get a move done into the sort of right-hander along the down the hill, I should say, as it looks like that is not the case. We're not also losing the wheel there. DJ is in the pits from the lead of the race now. He's decided to call it a day on those soft compound tyres. So he is coming in to the pits there in the Mustang. He's getting a new set of tyres and some fuel on board. So we'll see what he's going to be like in the next phase of this race. We'll see what tyres he's going to as well. But into P5 now is V-Todd. BRG Angel there jumping back up after a bit of a difficult first stint. Now back up into P6. Good stuff indeed from him. DJ is back out on the soft compound tyres once again. So he's going to go super quick once again on these soft compound tyres. Let's see what he can do. Valpasso is coming on a sheet there for P8. Let's see if there's going to be any moves here for the Aston Martin DBR9. But I don't think so, especially not on the turn 1, especially not if he's going to keep going on the grass there. It's going to lose some time to the drivers ahead of him. Meanwhile, Dan Murphy sticking with Nadeem there for P3. Looks like there's going to be a stint-long battle, at least, maybe even a race-long battle as well. But he's all over the back now of that GR Supra as well. So he's sticking very closely to P3 now. Can he make a move for that podium place, that final podium place as well? We shall see in the McLaren, and he comes around the long right-hander as well. Sticking with the Toyota very closely indeed. It looks like the attempt is going to be there very soon for a move. If it's going to be a late lunge or a calculated move, we'll have to find out. But I'm sure, knowing Dan Murphy, it will be a very calculated move indeed. As almost going side by side there on the exit of the hairpin, but he's not been able to make that move stick. Can he make a move now at the crest of the hill? Looks like they're going to go side by side down here, or very close indeed, almost into the braking zone. I think there might be a move very shortly coming around the right-hander here. Can he make a move around the outside? No, not quite. He has to stick behind for now. Now heading down the main straight. Can we make a move into turn 1? The slipstream will be available for the McLaren, as he's done his personal best lap as well. Going around the outside here is Dan Murphy. Can he hold it this time around the outside of the GR Supra? It's very close indeed. They're side by side now as they exit turn 1 and coming towards turn 2. Up the hill they go. If Dan Murphy is, I thought he just jumped into P3 there, but it's going to be very close between these two here. As around turn 2 they go, still side by side. It's still side by side, as it looks like Nadeem's got the momentum into turn 3. Dan Murphy, had a bit of a slip there on the curve there, and I think he's had to slot back into P4 now. Still right behind Nadeem for P3 in the GR Supra as well. So he's not lost too much time there. He'll have to recover his momentum, his consistency, and go once again for another move later on in this one. Hodgson has got that gap down to 3.4 seconds now to the leader of Reza. I think the strategy difference is, yeah, there's a bit of difference in terms of the tyre compounds, hards for Reza and softs for Hodgson. So that might come back into Reza's favour. Of course, the soft compound tyres, of course, will be grippier and faster in the beginning, and then, of course, they'll drop off. The tyre wear will be accelerated a lot quicker than the hard compound tyres, so it will benefits to some at the beginning, and then there's negatives to others at the beginning, and then that switches round. Roles are reversed, and then it switches around later on in the stint. So like I said, we'll see. We'll come back to that if Hodgson can make a move before the lead of the race. But again, over the crest of the hill, Dan Murphy can go for a move now for P3. Down the hill they go side by side, and I think he's a lot closer this time. Going to go around the outside of the right hander. No, not quite. He can't make that move, unfortunately. He'll have to stick behind Nadeem for P3 once again. And once again, can he make a move now into turn 1? Made a move around the outside last time in turn 1, and almost held it around turn 2 into turn 2 as well. But looks like he's a bit farther back there this time. But now, can he make a move on the exit of turn 1 this time? They're very close indeed. Not quite side by side like they were last lap. But it could be close. Hodgson has set the fastest lap of the race at 53.161. Good stuff from him. And that will be an extra point for him as well if he can keep it for the at the end of this race. That is, of course. We're halfway through now. We're almost halfway through, very close to halfway through in this event. As Nadeem still holding on to that P3, he's fighting gallantly with Dan Murphy to keep that last podium spot. And he's doing very well, as is Dan Murphy, to be fair. Both of them have raced very cleanly, very fairly so far. From what I can see, it's been very clean and very fair. But of course, like I said, maybe I'm not seeing it all. So there we go. But no, so far it's been so good from both these drivers. It's been so far so good for all the drivers, I think, in my opinion. Payaso is back in the pits now from the medium compound tyres. He's decided to he's got quite a lot of fuel, almost 2/3 of the tank of fuel in that car as well. So I'm not sure if this is strategy call. He's got a bit of wing front bumper damage, I should say. So he might need to really come into bits just to change that as well. But out in the lead now, Reza's got a 3-second gap. So the gap's sort of stabilised between the top two now, and yeah, we'll see that change hopefully in the next few laps, in the next few stages, of course. We are just coming up to halfway now. So we're just about 20 seconds away from halfway. As unfortunately, Dan Murphy having a bit of trouble getting the dip in the front right onto the grass there, and that is costing a bit of time now to Nadeem there. And I think Nadeem now is comfortably into P3, but of course Dan Murphy will come back at him later on in the race, I'm sure of it. So here comes, so we'll go back to him in very shortly. But here comes DJ now down the hill at pace in a Mustang. Very nice, refreshing livery of a Coca-Cola. So there we go. So have a refreshing livery on DJ Death Dragon. Of course, the lobby host, and the admin for GT7 as well. So he's very good GT7. He knows what he's doing. But it looks like he's coming back towards Dan Murphy now, having made a different strategy call there. Todd is into the pits now from the hard compound tyres in his Mazda RX Vision as well. He's got not very much fuel left there, but he's switching tyres, although he has barely got any tyre wear on those hards. So a bit of an odd on that. I think he might have been benefited just from a nice little fuel stop to get himself topped up. But he might still come out ahead of Mohammed, I should say, in P9. So he might still keep his P8 there, potentially for VTOD. Penalty there for Payaso. Unfortunately, he's been unfortunately slapped with a penalty there, which was very harsh. Reza got through. He's been lapped by Reza now and by Hodgson as well, it looks like. Payaso has come back out. VTOD has come back out in P9 there, just behind 6 seconds behind Mohammed there, it looks like. So yeah, he's slotting in now into P9, but of course, fresher tyres and a full tank of fuel as well should be good for him to get towards the end, to get to the end of the race, I believe, potentially. So yeah, we'll see how it all unfolds for VTOD later in this one. VTOD seems to go for the slower but the longer strategy calls. So he has less time in the pits and of course more time on the track as well. So that again potentially can come back round for him. We'll see how it all factors in, of course, when some people are on faster tyres and going for it. they look a lot faster. They look like they're going to get a win very easily. But then, of course, the strategic calls do play a massive factor, especially in such a long race as well. So we'll see how it all unfolds as Dan Murphy's got the gap back down towards Nadine now. He's almost within 1.5 seconds, and that McLaren is getting after the GR Super there. It looks like the Super is on the hard compound tyres. So maybe the mediums now of Dan Murphy will have to try and kick in to try and get that move done and dusted, so he can get himself up into P3 and onto the podium as well. DJ in the meantime is catching the two of them. He was about 10 seconds behind now at one point. I think actually he's now only 7.4, so he's almost gained 2.5 seconds within a lap and a bit. He's got the purple first sector. So that is looking very good for the Mustang as a standalone. If you can get that as well to reinforce, try and steal the fastest lap. I thought he had the fastest lap at the moment, but it's now Hodgson who's got it. So if you can try and steal the fastest lap off of Hodgson as well, who's currently in P2. He's currently 2.5 seconds behind Reza, but those soft compound tyres you can see there on the tyre wear indicator are dropping off, I should say. Reza has got a lot better tyres in terms of the hards that he's on, a lot less tyre wear and a lot more fuel as well than Hodgson. So Hodgson will need to pick very shortly up the lead, and of course Reza will be able to carry on a bit longer in this stint. Now the gap between Dan Murphy and Nadine almost under 1 second. Once again, the battle is going to resume here as they can sense that DJ as well getting closer and closer. DJ now only under 6 seconds behind these two, so he's really coming into this one as he's just coming down the hill. We can see him there as that was Bal Palazzo, we saw in the background there, unfortunately. But yes, we'll see Bal Palazzo there, and then we'll see DJ fly through as well, running on board with Dan Murphy. He's up into P3 as Nadeem has decided to call it a day on the hard format tyres. He's into the pits for a bit more tyres, I should say. Didn't think you needed to go for it either, because it looks like those hard compound tyres have barely got any tyre wear on them at all. Even the laps that he's already put onto them. New bit of fuel. another bit of fuel to add to that GR Super as well, so he can get himself back underway. Into the pits as well is Angel in the very tasty livery. He decided to get a tyre change as well, and then a bit of fuel on board once again. So we'll see what he can do when he comes back out, and where he'll come back out. As here comes Nadeem, he's been released by his pit crew into turn 1. He's coming back out in P6 now, so that is a marker there for the likes of Dan Murphy and the DJ as well, who's catching up to himself and to Dan Murphy as well, to see if they can jump Nadeem in the pit stop phases. Into P9 is Todd now, going very cleanly, going calmly at the moment in P9 as well. Out of the pits is going to be Angel, very shortly. Out he comes now. The pit crew have moved out of the way. He's going to come out right behind Todd there. Todd moving up into P8 now, and Angel there coming out on his fresh tyres with his fresh fuel tank as well. Is going to be in P9, so that is going to be a battle that's going to be starting very shortly. Once Angel's got himself back up to speed, he'll be on the gearbox of the Mazda RX Vision as well very shortly. Hodgson is into the pits, so we just caught that. He's decided to call it a day on those soft compound tyres. Like I said, he was on a much softer compound than the leader of Reza at the moment, so the tyres were in his favour in terms of catching up to the leader, but of course they were going to wear out a lot quicker than Reza's tyres, as Dan Murphy's also into the pits as well from P3. And DJ follows him in P4 as well, so strategy calls are being changed all over the field now. A sheet will come through. No, we won't get that position. I don't think it will actually remain the same for these guys here. So we're just waiting for Hodgson to get released from the pits. It shouldn't be too long now. Hopefully for himself as well. Hopefully he can get out very shortly. He has been released now onto the track, and he's back out on the soft compound tyres as well. So away he goes. Dan Murphy will be the next driver to get out of the pits. I think Ashik might be able to jump these two here. Potentially, it'll be very close between the two of them. Ashik there in P5, he's coming out now in P3. Dan Murphy on his way out as well. It looks like DJ's jumped Dan Murphy somehow in the pit stop phase. So that's cost Dan Murphy a position there. He's come out ahead of Nadeem as well though. So both the drivers here, Dan Murphy and DJ, have jumped Nadeem in the pit stop phases there in the last round of stops, I should say anyway, as they both come out behind Ashik. Ashik is of course carried on as he's on his hard compound tyres. He's running out of fuel though, so he will need to pit very shortly for some more fuel. I think he won't be able to get to the end on that fuel tank. So DJ there might be able to get his podium back, and here comes Dan Murphy though, and Nadeem to have something to say about that as well, I suppose, because I don't think they will be wanting to let DJ get enough podium under his belt. They want to try and get that podium for themselves as well. But here comes DJ now trying to get a move now on Ashik. Ashik of course is on older tyres and has less fuel in the car, so we'll have to make a stop very shortly, or at least in the next few laps of this race. But here comes DJ now. Can he get a move? Because he needs to try and get past Ashik very quickly here, so that he can try and get away from Dan Murphy and Nadeem, who are once again battling. No, they're not. I thought they were side by side, but they're not. But here comes DJ now, trying to get past the GR Supra of Ashik. Can he make a move now into the hairpin? No, not quite. It doesn't look like it. Those soft combat tyres are much fresher now, much faster than the hard combat tyres on Ashik's GR Supra. So he should be able to make a move very soon, very quickly as well, and try and get past him. Dan Murphy is caught onto the battle once again, so this is going to bring him back into the fray as down the hill they go. Can DJ make a move into the right hander? No, not quite. He's trying to hold it round the outside. He's made that move. He has made that move, as it looks like Ashik just letting him through very slightly, as DJ now up into P3. Dan Murphy the next to try and get past Ashik as well. Ashik staying out of the pits at the moment. Here comes Dan Murphy now. He's less than 2/10 behind. Can he make a move now into turn 2? Can he get alongside the GR Supra of Ashik and make that move into turn 2 as they come through the sweeping left-hander? He can't quite make it. Stick, and I don't think he's going to have to bide his time all the time now. DJ is trying to get away from these two here, because the battling between the two of them is slowing them down, as Dan Murphy makes a bit of a tap on the back there, as DJ there just trying to fly away as fast as he can now away from this battle. It's helping them very nicely, as into pits comes Todd and Angel as well. Dan Murphy's still stuck behind the GR Supra of Ashik now. He's going to have to try and make a move very shortly, because he's losing a lot of time now to DJ through there. I don't think it was going to be a good angle to try and make that move, as like I said, it was always a closing gap. Now down the inside, has he made that move? I think he has now. He's got past the Supra of Ashik now into the banked right-hander now, and he is ahead. Well, he is definitely ahead now, but can Ashik come back at him? I don't think so. I think that McLaren is now firmly into P4, and here comes Nadeem as well, who's going to try and get P5 off Ashik now. Ashik dropping down the order, of course, because he's running out of fuel there. You can see the fuel light flashing, and he's on a harder compound tyre compared to Dan Murphy and to DJ Jack Frank as well, and to Nadeem. No, he's not to Nadeem though. He's on the same. They're both on the same compound tyre, these two, but of course Nadeem has got more fuel in the tank, and I think it looks like that fuel light flashing on Ashik's car now means that he will be coming into the pits very shortly for a refuel. Looks like DJ's got a penalty there for some sort of incident, so that is going to slow him down, and that's going to help Dan Murphy get into the podium places, because that is going to give him currently the third place spot, because he is less than 1.5 seconds behind DJ at the moment. Good stuff from him. Ashik into the pits now, like I said, for a tyre change and a bit of fuel on board. Rejohn picked up a penalty somewhere as well. Unfortunately, he's now served that, so he's got out of the way of the cars who are lapping him. Angel as well. Angel serving his penalty there. Hodgson has set the fastest lap once again with a 52.295. He is absolutely flying out there at the moment. Good stuff indeed from him. Reza, I think, is have to come in as well now. It looks like that fuel light, like I said, with the sheep just on the last lap is flashing, so that he might have run out of fuel now. Actually, it looks like it's completely gone. So he might be cruising himself back to the pits at this rate. But luckily, it is down the hill, so he can just roll himself into the pits now. Good stuff indeed, and he's into the pits from the lead of the race. He is completely out of fuel, so he was out of fuel there. Now, luckily, there's a hill coming down the last bit of the lap, rather than going up the hill, because I think if he was going up the hill, that would have been a bit more difficult. But yeah, we'll see how it's going to unfold now in the next phase of this race. Like I said, we have now got just over 18 minutes left of the race now. Dan Murphy, like I said, has got past DJ for P3, because of the penalty there for DJ. He's going slowly there as DJ. I'm not quite sure what's happened here. He's lost a lot of time to Dan Murphy. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Hopefully DJ's alright. He's Nadine now all over the back of him. He's got past for P4. I'm not quite sure what what's happening to DJ there. He's not got another penalty somehow as well. I'm not quite sure what's happening. Yeah, hopefully everything's alright and he can get that fixed, get himself back underway. Like I said, he was battling with Dan Murphy for P3. He's now lost almost 5 seconds to Dan Murphy in this phase. DJ into the pits again. So I'm not quite sure if there's an issue there for DJ. I think he might have a bit of a problem. He's got a bit of damage there on the bumper. I think he might have gone off the circuit, unfortunately, or there was a bit of contact with somebody, but hopefully not. So he's into the pits now to repair that damage as well, get the new set of soft combat tyres on the car and get a bit of fuel topped up as well, so he can get himself to the end of this race. Out he comes now into P5, so he hasn't, well, he's lost those 2 positions to Dan Murphy and Nadeem, but he hasn't lost any positions to anybody else, which at least is some sort of positive for DJ. Still in P5 is nothing to cry about. So like I said, I can't really quite around to get P5 in this one. As Nadeem Mohammed is back in the pits, and that Aston Martin is being serviced now. It looks like it's got a bit of rust on that Aston Martin though, unfortunately. So the BMW, I keep saying BMW, I meant to say James Bond, the Bond car is being serviced right now. He needs to get a bit of that rust off of it and get himself back underway in this one. So picking up another penalty there. He's having a bit of an issue on this one, but he's doing a good job of sticking in the race nonetheless. Reza has come into the pits for the, like I said, for the refuel there and a fresh set of hard compound tyres. He's now back out in P2, so Hodgson has taken the lead back of the race. But will Hodgson have to pit again? That fuel load is almost half empty, half full, depending on how. Well, I think it's empty because it's technically getting emptier as you go along, in my opinion. But anyway, we'll talk about philosophy one other day. But those soft compound tyres and that fuel load, will it be able to hold up and keep that gap just under 10 seconds now to Reza for the rest of this race? We've got, like I said, just over 15 minutes to go now, and see obviously how it all unfolds in the next few laps. Of course, we'll get a better indication of where the drivers will be finishing, if they're going to have to make a last-ditch pit stop, or if there's going to be any other changes as well. But at the moment it seems alright. It seems alright for Dan Murphy, who is in the podium places by 2 seconds ahead of Nadeem. And these like I said, the drivers will be flying around now as it stands at the moment to try and get the best result they can. Todd and Angel there are side by side, or almost side by side. They're pushing each other around the track. Angel there in P7 and Todd there in P8 at the moment. So like I said, the very tasty a dash of grass there from Todd's Mazda RX Vision. They're just flying up as they've gone almost off the circuit there, but he's managed to keep it on track there. Good stuff indeed. As a personal best there from Angel, puts him comfortably in as 54.9. So he's still quite a bit off the pace of Hodgson as it stands. The leader of the race as it stands is he's increasing this gap there. It's 10.5 seconds now. I don't know. We'll have to have a look and see if Hodgson might be able to get the win here. It will be close indeed. Once again the fastest in sector 1, so looking to see if he can get that extra point for the fastest lap as well. Of course, with the extra fuel on board and the soft compound tyres, he's really pushing now. It looks like he's gone his personal best in sector 2 as well. So let's see if let's run aboard with DJ and see if he can get the fastest lap on this lap here now. He comes up the hill, over the crest, and then down the hill towards the final couple of corners of the lap. Just making sure we get the braking zone right for the right-hander here. You can easily lose the car on the brakes if you slam them on, and of course he will just try and spin away from you, but he's managed to keep it under control very nicely indeed. And now coming down towards the start-finish line, he's done his personal best there of 52.703. which is currently just over 4 tenths away from Hodgson's fastest lap. So he needs to find 4 tenths if he wants to get that fastest lap as well. But it's going in the right direction for DJ. He's trying to get that gap down to Nadeem. Of course, if the guys ahead of him have to make another pit stop, he will be able to jump them as well for that podium place. So potentially he's still within the shout. Dan Murphy's had a bit of a wing damage here. It looks like there's someone had a bit of a problem there, trying to get past, trying to get around the circuit. Unfortunately for the McLaren, that was a bit of wing damage. It's going to front bumper damage. It's not wing damage, is it? It's front bumper damage. Get it right. Yeah, so we'll have to get that replaced, or you can stay out and hope that it repairs itself and gets a bit better as bits fly off and get out of the way. So we'll have to wait and see. Elsewhere, the gaps are pretty stable out the rest of the order. Like I said, the gap between P1 and P2 is currently sort of sitting quite comfortably between 10 seconds and 10.5 seconds. So that is in Hodgson's favour at the moment. So potentially we'll have to wait and see. Depends if the tyres and the fuel can get to the end of this race for Hodgson. And like I said, he's got almost 11 minutes now. Just 11 minutes and a bit now, really, to go to the end of the race. A 2-minute lap, roughly a 2-minute lap. We're looking at just over or just under 5 laps or so to go now as well. So potentially we'll be looking to end this race on lap 30, because of course a 2-minute lap is a 1 hour race. That means it's going to be 30 laps. A quick math, you see, I'm really good at maths. I had that one pretty worked out before. Don't you worry. So, as now the gap is coming down rapidly. I think Hodgson has, Reza has turned the fuel up, or Hodgson has turned the fuel down, and now that gap is coming down between Reza and Hodgson, and we might see here a change of fortunes for Reza. Can he get the lead of the race back after putting it on pole position? He had a difficult start to the race, but once again he's come back through and performed excellently in the race, as we've seen from him in the previous few events for the GT7 league as well. So he's now trying to get himself back in the frame to get another win here in Alsace Village. Dan Murphy's still going in P3. He's not coming into pit just yet. He's like wing damage, bumper damage, I should say, is still there, but it's holding on for the time being. He's still got a gap there of 2.4 seconds roughly to Nadeem there in P2. Hodgson is in the pits from the lead of the race, so he decided that he's not going to have that gap, unfortunately, to Reza. Reza's going to come through and take the lead back of this race, but can Hodgson, with a new set of tyres and a bit more fuel potentially, get himself back in the lead of this race after putting a bit more pace through those soft compound tyres to try and get after Reza for the lead? But yeah, refueling here is costing him a lot of time. You can see as here comes Dan Murphy now down the hill as well. Will Dan Murphy have to make another pit stop as well for that damage, and for a new set of tyres, a new set of boots on that McLaren probably wouldn't go amiss. But of course he will lose positions to the likes of Nadeem if Nadeem does not pit, and Nadeem has not pit, as Dan Murphy does come into the pits as well now. 16 seconds is the gap to Reza for Hodgson. He's got to gain that in the next 9.5 minutes or so. So he's going to have to go great guns in this final stint for himself in the Subaru BRZ. Nadeem there in P3 looking good at the moment, as DJ Jeffro gets the P4 back from Dan Murphy, who is just coming out of the pits now. Sheik won't be able to get that P5, so that is Dan Murphy in P5 for the time being. He's onto the soft compound tyres once again. He's got a 6-second gap, or just under a 7-second gap to DJ, and once again it will have to try and put some pressure on that Mustang to try and get back into P4, and then try and get a little further through to Nadeem as well for P3 if he can. But I think it's going to be close if Nadeem doesn't pit, of course, because we saw that Nadeem there is on the hard compound tyre, so potentially can go to the end of the race if the fuel allows it. Because I think it's the fuel limitation for Nadeem that might be the factor here rather than the tyres this time. I don't think the soft compound tyres are going to hold up for Dan Murphy, and they didn't either for Hodgson as well. We saw him up coming to the pits just on the same lap as well. Right then, he has got to gain 16 seconds in 9 minutes, and like I said, I don't know how quickly to work out the maths here, but he's gained already almost 2 seconds on this lap alone. So I don't know, I think we might be in for an interesting finish to this one, as Hodgson is going to be bearing down on Reza for the lead of the race if he can keep it on track, keep it in the right direction as well. And yeah, it's now down to 13 or just under 14 seconds. And I think we might see here Hodgson and Reza having a bit of a battle for the win of this race in the final few seconds, in the final few laps of this one as well. So stay tuned for this one. I think it might get a bit interesting, as Reza still got enough fuel on board. The tyres looking all right, but of course the much faster soft compound tyres are on that Subaru of Hodgson in P2, and he'll be looking to try and burn some of that fuel as well to get himself into the frame. But yeah, we'll find out, of course, when it all unfolds, how it all unfolds. DJ is into the pits as well. So once again, I think the soft compound tyres just about given out at the wrong time. I think maybe going on to the mediums might have been a better stint for DJ there, and he's on to another set of soft compound tyres, I believe, getting an extra bit of fuel on board as well, as we are now into the almost into the 54th minute, I should say. Yeah, we've now got 7 minutes left to go. 7 minutes left of the race now, as DJ comes out into P5. Now he's going to lose that place to Dan Murphy, who's got himself back up into P4 as well in the McLaren. Out in front, Hodgson out in front first. We've got Reza there trying to get past the lap car of Mohammed, I think it is. Yes, it is, and he's got past now, but that's cost him a bit of time, I think, there. It's now a 12-second gap between himself and Hodgson. Hodgson needs to get that gap down a bit quicker than he is, I think, at the moment, because he's going to run out of time, unfortunately, if it stays the way it is for the Subaru driver. He's just not got the time left to get that lead back, unfortunately, from Reza. But there he goes. He's coming down the hill now. He can probably see a glimpse of Reza going into turn 1 if he's coming down when he comes down that hill. But at the moment he's a bit too far back. 11 seconds is the gap. He's gone faster still with a 51.598. That is a good lap time indeed from Hodgson. That is going to be an extra point from him as well in terms of the fastest laps. Good stuff from him. So yes, he's going great guns as it stands at the moment. He's got an 11.5 second gap though. I just don't think he's got 6 minutes left to go as well. I don't think that's going to be enough time, unfortunately, to gain that. He needs to gain almost 2 seconds a lap, or just over 2 seconds a lap, to be able to get within range. And then of course he's got to pass as well. He's got to pass Reza for the win, which is going to be just as much of a difficult task as it will be to try and catch up at this stage of the race as well. So unfortunately I don't think he's going to make it, but we'll have to stay tuned, because I think it's going to be very close between those two. We'll come back to that in a minute, as the battle between V Todd and Mohammed there could come into play as well. V Todd there in P8 doing a good job there in the Mazda RX division as well. Good stuff from him. Payaso keeping going in the aftermarket DBR9 as well. We've been backed by the leaders a couple of times, I think, on this one, as he's just trying to carry on and get to the end of this race, but at least he's going to try and get to the end of the race, which is good stuff indeed. The gap coming down now, and the lead is now under 10 seconds, and Reza there is becoming probably a bit under increasing pressure though. He's probably looking at that counter in the bottom left and trying to hope it speeds up a bit there to get to the end of the race a bit quicker. But nonetheless, he's doing a great job there. Is Reza once again got pole position, of course, and has been looking very good in the race, as has Hodgson as well. Well, I think, to be fair, you can say all drivers have done a good job in this race. I haven't seen any incidents, and I think I've seen some very good racing from the drivers who've taken part today. So good stuff indeed from all of them. Not everyone's favourite circuit. It's one, the Alsace village circuit, but they've all put on a good show so far in this one. And we've got less than 5 minutes to go. We've almost got just 4 minutes left to go. So if my calculations are correct, which they probably are, so we will finish on lap 31, I think. So we'll finish this lap here. We've already got past V Todd there for slapping the Mazda RX division in P8. So yeah, Reza will be finishing on lap 31. So he'll be able to finish this lap, and then of course start lap 30, and then lap 30 he'll be able to get to the end as well before the timer drops, and then he'll be able to to be able to start lap 31 and then finish lap 31. 31 will be the final lap of this race. As he goes off the circuit, then he can make sure he keeps it on the circuit. Maybe a bit of pressure there, driven by the time between himself and Hodgson. It's coming down quickly, but I don't think it's going to be quick enough, unfortunately, for Hodgson, as he's off the track as well in the same place as Reza. That's going to cost him a bit of time there. I think he's pushing a bit too hard to try and keep up with the Genesis GR3 car of Reza as well. So yeah, I think that might cost him a bit of time there, unfortunately, for Hodgson. That might cost him a potential shot at the win here as well. Elsewhere, the gap seems to be pretty stable. Mohammed is doing a good job actually of trying to bring the gap down to B. Todd. Potentially B. Todd might lose that place. He's got a penalty as well as B. Todd, as he's just trying to get out of the way, I think, of some people. I'm not quite sure what's going on here, because he seems to be slowing down. He's lost that P8 place anyway, I think, has B. Todd, unfortunately for him. I'm not quite sure why he was going so slowly up the top of the hill there. Has he run out of fuel? No, he's got some damage, it looks like, somehow. I'm not quite sure how that has happened. He comes into the pits, I think, and he's going to get that repaired at least. So hopefully he can get that sorted. I'm not quite sure what's happened there to B. Todd, because the engine's got a problem as well in the centre body. So yeah, fingers crossed he can get that sorted. We are on to lap 30 now, as I said. So like I said, there's time still, less than almost 2 minutes to go. So we've started this lap with 30 seconds into this lap, so say it's about a 1 minute 55 lap. He'll be able to finish this lap, start lap 31, and the timer will finish on lap 31, and that will be it for the race. So yeah, like I said, we'll be able to crown the victory for Reza or Hodgson. Will it be Hodgson as well? We don't know. To be fair, so yeah, we might be able to crown a victor at least on the next lap. At the end of lap 31, we'll be able to crown a victor. But I think the gap there, just 6.2 seconds now, is a bit too much for Hodgson, unfortunately, to bring down. He's just trying to drift it round the corners there. He's doing a good job there of keeping it under control. But I don't think that will do his tyre wear any good. But yeah, there we go. So he's now cruising around the long right-hander as well, trying to bring that gap down as much as he can. But he has done a good job nonetheless in this race. There as well, one of the drivers who's done a fantastic race as well, finishing in P3. It looks like it's going to be he's got a 6-second gap almost to Dan Murphy. Dan Murphy having made the extra stop is going to be pushing on, but I don't think he's going to have that time, much like Hodgson, to make that move for the position. As Reza has got his fuel light flashing, that fuel light is getting a bit worrisome there for the Genesis driver, I should say. You can see the Subaru in the background now. He's coming into frame. He's right behind us here, as you can see down the main straight. You can see there the Genesis car into turn 1, as followed by the Subaru Hodgson, and we're on to the final lap. I believe we've got 30 seconds left of the race, and of course, whenever the timer reaches 1 hour, that is when the final lap is indicated. So you have to finish whichever lap you are on that occasion when the timer does get to that 1 hour mark. So it looks like we'll be getting very close to the end of it here. And is Hodgson going to get the win of this race? He is under 2 seconds. He's pushing on massively now. The fuel light for Reza is flashing off quite significantly now, to be fair. The gap is now down to 1.4, 1.3. It is getting mighty close between these two here. Hodgson and Reza are going to take it to the final line, it looks like here, as Nadeem there has finished in P3, Dan Murphy in P4 as well. This is a great race in terms of the strategy from these two here. They're coming close together now as well into the final couple of corners. This is going to be an intense finish here, the best finish we've had so far in GT7. It's going to be so close between the Subaru and the Genesis GR3 car. Here comes Hodgson now around the outside. Can he make the move for the final time, for the final lap of the race, and for the lead of the race as well? Reza, I don't think, had any defence there. The fuel light is, like I said, the fuel load, or fuel level, I should say, for Reza is so low. And here comes Hodgson. I think he's managed to clinch it with only a couple of corners to go, and over the crest of the hill and down the hill they come. The fuel light is back on, now for Hodgson as well. So both of them have got some fuel saving to do, but I don't think they'll have to worry about that, as it looks like Hodgson are having a bit of trouble trying to get around the corner as well. But they've both made it through. This is going to be the closest finish for HDE GT7 so far. 2.5 tenths is the last is the timer as they cross the line. Hodgson gets the win, but Reza there so close in P2. What a race from these two as well, and what a final lap from Hodgson as well. Hats off to him there. He's done a fantastic job there. What a result there from Hodgson, and he does get the win there. You can see there in the lobby there, celebrating in style as well in his Subaru BRZ as well. Gained 4 positions as well. What a race from Hodgson, and what a race from Reza as well. Great racing from all of them, to be fair. And that is that. Good stuff indeed from them, and fantastic racing indeed. I think we had, so like I said, we had Hodgson there who takes the win on the final lap. Reza there in P2, and then we had Nadeem there in P3, Dan Murphy in P4. DJ in P5, and then we had Ashik there in P6, I think it was. I'll have to do a proper classification of the order, but that is the race done and dusted. What a fantastic race it's been. Thank you very much for all who's joined us as well. It's been an absolute pleasure to put on this event, because it's been, like I said, GT7 has been actually absolutely outstanding to watch the races of. Unfortunately, one day I would like to race as well, but I can't at the moment. But anyway, thank you very much for joining us as well. Of course, we've got more HDE action coming up in the rest of the week. We've got, of course, the Prospect League kicking off tomorrow in F1 in Canada, followed by Challenger on Thursday, also in Canada as well. Then the FIFA League after that on the Thursday night. Then we've got HDE Elite on the Friday, HDE Master on the Saturday, and of course HDE Ultimate on the Sunday as well. Thanks very much for joining us, guys. We'll be back next week for more GT7. I'll catch you later.